so we earn about $700,000 per year in dividends from Yieldmax, but how do we actually double our returns with Yieldmax? Okay, we're going to get into that in this video. Yieldmax and margin helps me live financially free from 9 to 5. If you need help doing the same, email me for my e-guides at akintodd48@gmail.com. You can also check out my website, unconventionalwealthideas.com. It's linked in my bio and in the comment section below this video. All right, so we're earning about $700,000 per year in dividends, and we're outperforming the market. We're up 11% in our last video when the market was flat. Now we're up 9% for the year, and the market is a little bit less than flat. It's now a little negative, but we're still outpacing all of the indexes. The S&P is down 0.5, the Nasdaq's down 1%, the Russell's down 6, the Dow's down 2. How are we doing this? It's because I'm getting these outsized returns, and it's from Yieldmax, but it's not from our dividends, okay? Because, I mean, it's in part from our dividends, but we have about a 70% yield on the account, okay? This 70% yield right here, about $700,000 on a $1 million account, roughly. That's about 70%. So if we have a 70% yield and the market is flat, how come we're not up 20 to 30% for the year? I mean, again, we're up 9, we're beating everything. That's great. But we need to reconsider our expectations for Yieldmax and where to get our returns from. We need to double, we need to grow wealth to get ahead, not only to live financially free from 9 to 5, but to stay free from 9 to 5, to beat inflation, and again, to make real money. We don't just want Yieldmax paying us a supplemental paycheck. So these dividends are great, but they just act, again, like a supplemental paycheck. Of course, if you don't sell your shares and the dividends stay the same and the market stays flat or whatever for the year, goes up 7 to 10% per year, well, then these dividends that we have, again, they're like a glorified paycheck. They just pay us our money each year and we can live free out of them, but we can't grow our account by them. Okay, so we really need to assess how to get these returns, how I'm getting these double-digit returns. We're just up 11% again. And we didn't get our dividends this weekend, by the way, because of the holiday this week, Juneteenth. So we would have more performance and lower margin if we had that dividend payment this weekend, and we would be up about 10%. But how are we getting these double-digit returns, getting these outsized returns compared to the indexes? It's not from our dividends, okay? It's from what I use in my account, and I'll show you that right now. All right, so if we go to a chart of SPYI, for example, SPYI, it has a 15% yield, roughly 10 to 15%. A lot of people love SPYI, but the thing is that it's not back at its old highs. It decays, so it's giving you a supplemental paycheck, once again, to basically invest in the S&P, but the S&P is back at the highs. You see this chart? The S&P is at the highs. All right, and SPYI, which tracks the S&P, did not make it back to the old highs. Again, this is what everyone loves. They all love SPYI instead of Cornerstone. I don't understand that, but we're going to really get into the merits of SPY and Yieldmax, Neos, all these funds, okay? They all do great. We're getting rates of return that are beating the market. How can you complain with that? Well, we're not compounding, okay? So everyone who thinks that they're so fancy because they're getting, high rates of return or they're getting high dividend yields, it's not really what you're getting in life, because yeah, you're getting those, but that's just a paycheck. It's just like you getting a paycheck, you earning $70,000 per year. Let's say you earn $100,000 per year in your paycheck and you spend $70,000. You saving $30,000 will be great, but the S&P goes up 7 to 10% per year, and you have to withdraw 5% out of your account. So you're only saving 2% or so each year. That's not enough to grow and compound and stack your wealth. Plus, with Yieldmax, you're really not growing by that 2% compounded. You're growing your income by that 2 or 3% because, again, Yieldmax is tied to the indexes. Now, not the stocks themselves, and we'll get into that in the second video. I have a two-part video on this. Basically, it could be a two-part or it's just another similar video, but we're going to talk about how to double these returns and double them in a real way, not just because our yield is 70%. All right, and so we would be up 70% in 1 year. No, that's not how it works. And you can't just go with SPYI because it decays. It did not grow and go to the old highs. Therefore, if you had all your money in it, yes, you're getting paid dividends, but you're not getting growth. And that's the the eighth wonder of the world, okay, ninth wonder of the world, if you want to call it that, is compounding. And that's how you really make millions, from million to two, two to four, four to eight. How do the millionaires do it? They did it with compounding. And so we have to keep all of this in mind, okay? Now, the one thing that I use at my channel is Cornerstone, obviously, okay? So Cornerstone, we already have a chart pulled up of Cornerstone here. Look at this. You would think, oh man, well, this is worse than SPYI. This decays a lot more than SPYI, but that's incorrect. Cornerstone, as you can see here, it's a 4-star fund and it moves upward, left to right on its chart. So obviously it's not decaying. It gives you a 20% dividend, which is the highest in the land, okay, for index funds generally. And that beats SPYI. That beats all these other funds that y'all like, okay? SPYI, SPYT, SPYT has a pretty nice yield, but SPYI, JEPI, JEPQ, Schwab D, okay? These things are decaying and they're not even giving you much yield. Cornerstone's giving you 20% yield as a 4-star fund, and you're getting the 20% gains every month on top of it with Cornerstone. Now, I know I'm talking about Cornerstone, and people who know my channel might say, oh gosh, he's, they're rolling their eyes because he's talking about Cornerstone. By the way, if y'all could like this video right now, if you're watching this video right now, please like it. All right, I always forget to tell y'all to like it. But we get our compounding with Cornerstone, okay? I meant to say I always forget to tell y'all to like it, okay? My members have to remind me at the end of the video. Please take the time to just like this video. Now, I mean, if we have, let's say, 500 people watching this or whatever by the end of this video, we should have 500 likes. I don't know why we're not getting more likes. Y'all wonder why I don't get more views? Because y'all don't like my videos. Okay, that's neither here nor there. I don't really care if I get views on my videos. I just want to live financially free, and I'm doing so in my account, up 9% for the year. That's excluding loans, okay? We know that I use my dividends to get loans, okay? And I've gotten about $350,000 to $400,000 worth of loans because I'm able to pay them back with my dividends, and my dividends qualify for a lot of the loans that I get. And so this growth here, we're at 1.4 million in the account. Call that 3 to 4, call it 400,000 in loans. How did I get this million? It was from compounding Cornerstone, okay? Because you cannot compound JEPI or JEPQ or SPYI or any of these other crappy vehicles, okay? Let's just get it through your heads right now. It's really ticking me off that people try to meander around Cornerstone, okay? Or say that I like to make videos about Cornerstone and that's all I'm after, is talking about Cornerstone, or I get paid from Cornerstone. I don't get paid from any of these funds. I'm trying to educate you on how to live financially free, and I don't care if anyone likes it, all right? If you have disputes on Cornerstone, please leave it in the comment section in this chat, okay? Let's go. All right, so SPYI, it decayed. Now, Cornerstone, it decays, as you can see here, but it doesn't really decay. This is an RO. This was the RO announcement. We sold up here thanks to our Discord alert, okay? I don't even have Discord pulled up. I need to have it pulled up. I lost all of my windows the other day. I don't even know how I'm going to get back into Discord. I need to have it up here. Maybe I can log in, while y'all are watching and it doesn't hurt my privacy or something like that. Gosh, I should have Discord pulled up. But anyway, y'all know that we have a Discord community. It's the best in the world. Maybe it's not the fanciest Discord with all the little bells and whistles with like little pictures by each channel. Who cares? We give the most knowledge at my Discord, okay? We have over 2,000 members here in our Discord chat room. We have all kinds of channels. You've seen it in my past videos. We have a Yieldmax channel, 401ks, Bitcoin, you name it. But we have the Cornerstone rights offering announcement. That's the big advantage of our Discord chat room. And also, we just have everyone else to interact with. When I started out with margin, I didn't get any help with margin. I didn't watch any YouTube channels because there were no channels dedicated to margin and living free, talking about Cornerstone, how to educate yourself with Cornerstone, how to educate yourself with margin. Okay, now some people are starting to talk about margin and even Cornerstone and take all of my channel ideas. That's great. I don't care. That's all the power to them. That's great. I'm flattered, honestly. But I started this channel and I had no help. Okay, that's why I started the channel. And now y'all have all that help at my Discord. All right, I would log in and show you, but I don't know how to log in, without compromising my security or whatever. You'll see it on the next video, or go look at my past videos. So We play Cornerstone perfectly at the highs. Discord's free, by the way, when you buy my e-guides, all right? Cornerstone, this is volume 4 if you need help playing Cornerstone around the rights offerings. This is how I've leveled up so much, from 15,000 in Corona to about $1 million, okay? It's because we got 40% gains from Cornerstone. We got 100% gain from Cornerstone in 2021. Go look at a 5-year chart. 2021, it went from 7 to 14, okay? You have to look back right here before 2021. Then we got 40% premiums. We got 40% premiums in 2021. All right, we're getting dripped at the NAV in Cornerstone. People say, oh gosh, here he goes talking about the drip. I can't use the drip for Cornerstone because I'm at Robinhood or I'm at Interactive Brokers. The drip is just icing on the cake. Here we have a drip update, okay? Refresh Cornerstone, you just saw it was 18, now it's 17%. So we're getting 17% every month on top of the 20% dividend every year. All right, so that's just icing on the cake. I didn't even use the drip in 2021. Okay, so in 2021, all right, we doubled from 7 to 14, and I didn't even know how to use the drip back then. I had to educate myself on how to use the drip, and now you can just toggle it on. But back in the day, you had to call E-Trade, and I put that all in my Volume 4 e-guide, which you don't even need that part of the e-guide. But what you do need in Volume 4 is how to play the premium thresholds so that you know when to buy and when to sell Cornerstone, because it's the easiest layup to leveling up your account and compounding and doubling your returns with Yieldmax. You have to put all your money into something to compound and grow. What's easier? $10,000 invested. To make $10,000, you need 100% return. Or $100,000 invested and you get 10% in the market, you make $10,000. So what's easier, the first scenario or the second scenario? Obviously, you have to put all your money into something. You can't put it in an SPYI because SPYI decays. You can't put it in any of those other index funds either, because even if they don't decay, they have too low of income to help you live free. CSQ decays minimally. As you can see here by the chart, I love Calamos 5-star fund, but it also decayed a little bit, but it only has a 7% yield, so you're not going to live free off of that. If you spend 5% per year and you're making 7%, you're only saving 2%, and you'll never get ahead like that. The only way to get ahead is with Cornerstone, okay? And even if you think you're an expert on Cornerstone and you don't need me to help play Cornerstone, well, even me, who I've used Cornerstone for many years now, I still use my Discord for the Cornerstone rights offering announcement alert. That really helped me because that helped us sell right here at the top. Now, I already knew to sell at the top because we were watching the premium thresholds, which I lay out in volume 4. But we still had Discord to tell us not only when to sell Cornerstone, but also, and when to buy Cornerstone, but also we have the support of everyone here, okay? Over 2,000 members here pursuing the FIRE lifestyle. So that's the first way that you compound, all right? You compound your Yieldmax returns and you double your returns with Cornerstone. Cornerstone only, okay? You take it from here where my mouse is all the way up to here. You get we got 100% gain in 2021. We got 40% premiums in 2023, 2024. We also had really high premiums. I want to say 37, maybe even 41, low 40s. So you get that every year plus a 20% dividend for 5 years. That's 100% return. But if you play the RO properly, you get to double up your money within those 5 years, maybe in 2 to 3 years, because Morningstar does not factor in you crushing the ROs like we've done in the past few years. Okay, they don't factor in you selling at the highs, buying at the lows, knowing when to sell, knowing when to buy, and then loading up more each time at the lows because we grow more each year. So that's why we keep exponentially growing our account. It's from Cornerstone. Whoever has something negative to say about Cornerstone, again, please leave it in this chat. I'm sure I will be able to answer it, or someone in our chat will answer that for you. All right, so Cornerstone, that's the first way to double your returns with Yieldmax, okay? All right, we got to double just from the capital gains here, but then you take a 20% dividend for 5 years. You take that drip at NAV. Every month you're getting 19 to 39% gains, which is what we've been getting. And you play the RO and you double up within the RO regardless of what the market does, okay? Regardless of what the market does. Okay, now moving on from Cornerstone, okay? And the fact that that's how you really compound your income, your returns. By the way, even if you can't get the drip in Australia or Canada, again, I've outperformed without the drip in 2021. The rights offering is how you benefit, okay? All right, now, moving on once again. So SPY and VOO, these are the same things as Cornerstone. Cornerstone is the index. Schwab D, JEPQ, JEPI, these are all the indexes, but you're not growing in those, okay? Now, the next point that I have for y'all is the fact that, well, let's just not forget that Cornerstone has 30% maintenance and Yieldmax has 50% maintenance. So that's another thing is like when you're using a lot of Yieldmax, you're sucking up a lot of your available withdrawal. And if you go to another broker with lower maintenance with Yieldmax, yes, you can buy more Yieldmax. Yes, you can get more income, but you're still not compounding your gains. You're not going to make easy money until you compound your gains with Cornerstone and nothing else. Well, we have the triple C's, of course. Cornerstone, that's by itself. That's what I used to use. And then my latest e-guide is on the triple C's, volume 7. And that's how we blew it away this year. Okay. It's with Cornerstone and the triples. Okay. So Cornerstone's volume 4, but the triples, triples and Cornerstone, everyone out, they always ask me, what are the triple C's? Triple leverage ETFs plus Cornerstone. Okay. And that's how we really blew away the indexes this year. But you can't just buy the triples. You can't just buy Cornerstone. You have to play Cornerstone properly as I already laid out in this video. And you have to watch your maintenance levels in those triples and know how to de-lever in a downturn and protect in a downturn, which I lay out all in volume 7. Also, you have to know how to use the triple C's with Yieldmax, with Roundhill and Defiance and Rec Shares, which I also lay out in volume 7. It's my most comprehensive e-guide. That's why it's my most expensive e-guide. But with Yieldmax, you have 50% maintenance, okay? If you don't understand maintenance, that's in my volume 3 e-guide. All right, so, I mean, gosh, do I have to keep mentioning my e-guides all the time? No, it's just no one knows what I'm talking about when I mention maintenance, okay? When I talk about maintenance, they think we're talking about management fees for funds. I keep getting comments about that, like, hey, this fund has a 1%, expense ratio. We're talking about maintenance, okay? And if you use too much Yieldmax, even the fact that it has lower maintenance, you're just putting yourself at more risk because when the market falls, Yieldmax falls 2 to 3 times more than the indexes, okay? Especially YMAX and YMAG because YMAG's the Mag 7 and YMAX has Bitcoin and other kinds of questionable names in it. So they have a higher beta. You're going to fall harder in a down market with Yieldmax. And then you've preserved your equity because you had low maintenance, let's say at Fidelity or Interactive Brokers, and you think you're so cool because you have the low maintenance, but you're putting yourself at more risk when the market falls because we use margin here, and my margin is around 400,000. So you're going to put yourself in risk of a margin call. And even if you don't use margin, then when the market falls, you have all that maintenance that you've saved, but when the market bounces back, what do you make? Nothing. All right, look at the bounce back, let's say, in Ulti. I love Ulti. Ulti is one of my favorite vehicles. I love Yieldmax. Yieldmax is great. Ulti is great. But look at this bounce back in Ulti. You get nothing. All right. You get the dividend, and the dividends are helping you grow, and you're compounding your dividends. And we got well over 700,000 at one point this year. Okay. They fluctuate. Obviously, we'll be between 6 and 8 all year. We're compounding our dividends. We're paying down our margin faster. And that's how we're getting our growth right now. That's how we're getting these real rates of returns. We're up 10%. But we're not getting the easy money. The easy money from having 1 million in something or 100,000 in something. It moves up 1 to 10%. You make $10,000 off of that. Now you have, 110,000. Now you're compounding off of 110,000. It's really easy to make your first million after you get 100,000. And then after you get $1 million, it's really easy to make more millions from there. Because you take the $1 million and you can only get 10% per year. So it's not easy to double that up. Although in 10 years at 10%, you will double. But we don't have time to wait 10 years. I use my margin to get ahead first. And that helps me essentially have 2 accounts working as one. This margin doesn't show up on a credit check to banks. My interest rates are low on margin. I've negotiated my rates down twice. Many of my members negotiated their rates down as well. You get my e-guides. When you buy my e-guides, you get Discord and my phone number. So call me if you need help negotiating your rates down. And so even if my rates were high, it wouldn't matter because my dividends pay down my debt so fast, it's not funny. So we're growing with our margin, we're compounding our dividends, and we're paying down our margin faster, which is growing our account faster because when we pay down our debt, our account grows by the equivalent amount. This is all great. Again, this is how we're getting 10% returns. But we haven't made that easy money. Well, we've made the easy money because we know that we're in the triple C's, which again is just what we've been doing in this recent downturn. We really loaded up in the triple C's, and that's how we got compounded gains as well. That's how we're up 9%, whereas the S&P is, negative for the year. So even with our margin, we should be up maybe, 4% because we're using, 0.4 leverage in my account. So if the market was flat, we should be up about 4% with that kind of margin leverage. But because of the compounding we're getting from the triple C's, from the lows, we're up 9%. All right. And I promise it's really hard to beat my returns because this is a rather large account now. It's really hard to move this needle. I'm not going to put it all into Bitcoin or some kind of Yieldmax stock like Coney or Misty or something. I'm going to keep it in the indexes, obviously, because I want to protect what I have. But when you do that, it's harder to move the needle. Loans do not move your performance, just for the record. Any money that you put in from loans or outside of E-Trade does not move your performance. In fact, it's harder to perform because the needle is bigger. The account is bigger. It's harder to move the needle. I can't ever say that expression. So we should be at 4% for the year with our 400,000 of leverage, all things being equal. Okay. But we're at 9%, and that's because we've compounded with the triple C's. I already explained how to do it with Cornerstone, and if you need more help, that's in my e-guides. And I've already explained to my members who follow my membership videos only. If you go to my YouTube channel, go here to the membership section here. You can see my private portfolio at any time. And so all of my members here know that this is how we're really getting those outsized returns. It's because we're compounding with capital gains, the triple C's, capital gains. Ulti, you're not getting capital gains, you're getting dividends. And you can't just count on this. First of all, the dividend yields don't sustain. In a down market, they fall. So you're not really getting compounding of your dividends enough to rely on because these fluctuate. The easy money you make with compounding is through the capital gains. And capital gains are a lot to ask for them. S&P only moves up 7 to 10% per year. So with Cornerstone, you can get more than 7 to 10% per year. You can get 20 to 30% in a given year with Cornerstone if you just play it properly around the premium thresholds. All right. And then with the triple C's, you're going to do whatever the market does times 3. All right. So that's how we're really getting our compounded power. All right. And so the last thing that you need to understand with our compounding and how to get these compounded gains are you have to sell options. Okay. I know that y'all don't like me talking about options, or some people cringe when I talk about options. I don't know why. The options are the real secret to leveling up in your account. Okay. Yes, we're up in these options, but I don't care if we're up or down in these options. When we sell options, we generate about $50,000 to $100,000 more of premium income. That paid down my margin by $100,000, lowered my margin rates, my interest, it lowered the amount of interest I pay. And so how do we compound with sold premiums? See, Yieldmax, they just sell premiums as well. So we just get the premiums, nothing more. The upside is capped. How do we compound in these sold options? Well, obviously, we wait for assignment at the lows and these triples, which I've also laid out. If you want help selling options, that's in my Volume 6 e-guide. But I also include in Volume 7 how I use sold options to get more income, especially off of the lows of the market. So if we don't get assigned in these options at the lows, then we just keep the premiums, the 50 to 100,000 in premiums. Then our margin stays down by 100 and our account grows by 100 by the time of expiration. Or we can sell early and take these gains, but I don't want to sell BitX for this $5,000 gain right here. I want the 20,000. That's what I signed up for. That's what I want to lower my margin by, and I want to keep my Bitcoin exposure on. Selling puts allows you to lower your volatility. It allows you to lower your margin, get more performance because these are adding to your performance. But most of all, if you do get assigned, which you want when you sell options, you want to sell options and get assigned, then you're going to compound up in these names, especially these BitX names that are leveraged or these leveraged ETFs that I have here. All right, so these are the ways to really double your returns with Yieldmax. Okay, you have to go for compounding on the capital gain side of things. We love Yieldmax. We love the dividends. We love how we're compounding our dividends. It's snowballing our income to where we can pay down our margins so fast, and we're growing even faster because of that facet with Yieldmax dividends. They are great. I love them. I love Ulti. I love all of them. but we're missing out on the easy money with compounding, the ninth wonder of the world. You can only get that through the triple C's. You can't get it through SPYI. If you put all your money in SPYI, you're not making enough income. There's an opportunity cost there. You can't put it all in SPYI or Schwab or JEPQ. Again, they decay. They don't even grow long term. And there's an opportunity cost because they don't have 15 to 20% yields like Cornerstone, okay? And the drip at NAV that Cornerstone gives you and the rights offering. None of those have what Cornerstone has. That's my secret to getting ahead. And then we talk about it all in our Discord, okay? I wish I had it pulled up for you if you're just now joining this live, but you've known from my past videos that our Discord is one of the best in the world. And we give you the Cornerstone rights offering announcement there, and we have a wealth of knowledge there on all the other channels. We talk about how to get loans, life hacks, how to use the best credit cards to get ahead. Everything that you can imagine under the sun that's finance related, it's here in our Discord chat room, which is free for life. Many people charge for Discord. My Discord is free for life. All right, so email me at akatod48@gmail.com if you need more help living financially free out of your brokerage account, or head to my website, unconventionalwealthideas.com. You can check out more about me and our fire community there. All right, so let me get to the comments. Let me try to get to a little darker screen here so that it's just easier on the eyes. If this is too long, I'll edit it out later. Hey, Tiger. Yeah, I can't wait to talk about that Roundhill fund. We'll do that next. Hey, Frosty Dog, my beloved admin, man, my brother. All of you guys are my brothers and sisters. We are a family here. Okay, and that's what you really get when you sign up at this community. We're a family for life. Amber, yeah, we're out here living the fire lifestyle. These Yieldmax dividends, they are paying for our life, okay? They are subsidizing our life. They are like a paycheck. But it's really hard to grow with that alone because, Yieldmax is going to go with what the market does, YMAX or YMAG generally, which is 10 to, let's just say, 15% per year, which is what the indexes do. But we spend 5 to 7% of our earnings on our bills and life expenses. So where can you save and really get ahead? Okay, we're getting great rates of return, but where can we compound and get rich? Okay, and that's with compounding and through the triple C's, which we've already laid out in this video. That's volume 7. This is Navy, everyone. She's Navy because her eyes are blue. Can you see her eyes right there? Yeah, she's a really good dog, right? She's getting a lot better. She's even working on her snoring for me. And it's short for NAV drip, all right? Navy eyes, but also short for NAV drip, all right? Yeah, good girl. All right, so she's like the mascot of the channel, okay? Jason, Cornerstone is the foundation. Exactly, and it is the truth. That's why it's a 4-star fund, and it's been out since the 80s. That's why I named my dog after Cornerstone. Is now a good time to start a Cornerstone position? We'll talk about that in the members video, Rob. Okay, sign up to the membership. Go here, join the membership. It's only $10. Okay, I don't have time to talk about Cornerstone in too much depth today. Or call me. Okay, you can call me and we'll talk more about how I'm timing my Cornerstone buys. Plus, we don't have a crystal ball, but you can only use rules and discipline to do it. Okay, and that's all in my e-guides. Or call me, Rob. Supreme, you love Cornerstone. Me too. Brian, hit the like button. Yeah, once again, everyone, if you're watching this video, just hit like. Let's see if we can really get some views on these videos. You wonder why I don't get views? Because my members, I think, are smarter and more old-fashioned. They're not into the whole YouTube thing as much. They don't give as many likes. My members who do use YouTube and like to check out different channels, they definitely like my video. They're well-versed with technology, but a lot of my members are 50 and above who don't even know what a like button is. I don't even know where to like videos sometimes. I'm just now learning about it myself, so I understand. But we're going to get more views if you like it. So, and also it'll recommend my video to you more if you like my videos. Brian, love Cornerstone. Keep talking about it. Don't stop. It makes you different and it has made you successful. Thank you, Brian. Jason, you got your first Cornerstone dividend on 630 and hoping it will drip at NAV. It will definitely drip at NAV, Jason, as long as you're at the right broker. Not every broker has that drip at NAV feature, but that's okay. You can still get ahead through compounding with Cornerstone, which is the big advantage. Of course, you do compound those drip dividends as well, which is always nice. Yeah, imitation is the greatest form of flattery. So they say a lot of dupe content creators out there, yeah, I'll take it, if they want to copy my style, it just means that it's working and it's, the knowledge is being spread to the masses more, which we all need more financial freedom. The more, the merrier. Supreme, it will drip at NAV as long as you're with an eligible company and enrolled. Exactly. Smith, funny everyone trying to copy Todd because he's successful. Yeah, funny how that works out, huh, Jason? Appreciate that. From the content creators, I mean, of course. Supreme, definitely. The other guy said he came up with the idea when he was on a plane and used his E-Trade card, LOL. Wow. Yeah, it sounds a lot like me because, I always say you could take my E-Trade card and do whatever you want with it, and we live out of our equity. But I don't know if anyone else has the same amount of ideas that we have here. The ways that we work our equity, with selling options, using margin, using maintenance, it's really the miracle of equity, and that we're using it to the max here, and that's how we're getting ahead and living free. And obviously others are copying it because no one else had this available on YouTube when I started. But that's neither here nor there. Good for them, once again. Much love to everyone. It's nothing but good vibes here. Hopa, LFG. All right, let's do it. Niels, what do we need to do if we can't buy those funds? What do you then prefer? I would say go to the triple C's then, Niels, and then do it the way that we do it. Okay, you don't just buy the triples. Okay, you have to buy them and do them with the system that I've laid out. You really cannot lose in a down market because whatever losses you do use, you're gonna have tax loss harvesting for them, and you're gonna go back on the long side and get capital gains on the way back up. It's how we did it, and we're gonna offset all of our taxes. Yieldmax dividends are ROC anyway, and obviously we got our compounding as well because of those moves. It's not just the triples and the C's, it's all the funds that I use with them, including options. That's all in volume 7, and that's how we got ahead. Amber, Yieldmax falls hard and then does not recover all the way because the upside is capped because it's covered calls. So you need to get your growth from the C's. Amen. Daniel, props to you, Daniel. Okay, I couldn't have said it any better. Okay, if y'all didn't read what Daniel just said, it's going to be really hard for y'all to retire now. You're going to be just making nice rates of return, but you're never going to get ahead. You're one life expense away, one calamity away from just being back at the job. And 50% of Americans are paycheck to paycheck and don't have $500 in their bank account because it's so hard to save with all this inflation. Okay, you need capital gains, compounding to really move higher. I told all my members I was going on a warpath this week, and here it is. Amber, growth ETF that moves you, a growth ETFs that move up but then does not pay dividends, so you tie up a lot of money that does not pay. Right. You can't go in growth ETFs or Yieldmax alone because you don't get your dividends from those growth ETFs. They're not paying you in a downturn. You need both, which is Cornerstone. Okay, that's all I can say. Stripes, you like the no-nonsense attitude during this live. Thank you, Stripes. I mean, I've just been gearing up for this, okay? I've been waiting to unload these thoughts, okay? If you're not getting compounding and capital gains, you're not getting anything, all right? You're just getting rates of return. That's great, all right? You're never getting ahead. You're never living free. All right, you can drip Yieldmax dividends and really compound that way, but you're doing so at a risk because you need to wait for market dips. Cornerstone is dripping for you at the bottom, so you don't have to wait for a market dip, and it's giving you gains with the drip, 17% gains every month. How are people not more in love with that? Daniel, you see them just get bigger and use the other ETFs to live the FIRE lifestyle. Exactly. Daniel's on point today, all right? He should have done the video today, not me. Damn, this man sold puts out to 2027, LOL. Yeah, because people who sell puts out to next week, to me, are really risking it. They're really pushing it, okay? Because you have to sell a lot to matter. And then if you sell a lot to matter, because there's small premiums if you go short term, you sell a lot to matter. What if you have to get a sign on a market crash next week? I've seen people lose millions of dollars selling 0 DTE puts. I do the leaps, which are the safest thing you can do, Rob. So yes, this man right here uses leaps, and I don't know why more people don't use leaps. People laugh in the face of my leaps. I'm generating 50 to 100,000 in premiums from my leaps without the risk, okay? And we'd have to fall a ton to get a sign, and I want assignment. Whereas when you sell short-term 0 DTE puts, you don't really want assignment because you're selling a lot. You're using a lot of contracts to make up for the fact that the premiums are so tiny, and then you're really going to get burned in a market downturn. This is such a good live stream. Wow, wealth of information. Thanks, Todd. Of course, you're welcome. Thanks for the comment. I wish I knew how to pronounce your name. Let me know your name, and I'll try to memorize that. Smith, yeah, he's getting income from puts, and if it goes down to that, he buys at lows, plus it lowers his margin. Exactly. Gato, Todd, I love you. Thanks, God, I love you too. I love all you guys and gals. I mean, it's just just a great thing, a great community that we're developing here. SI, everyone, he says, everyone hit the like button if you're just now watching and you didn't hear me say it before. Please, everyone, hit the like or subscribe button. Thank you again, SI. Just go down there, okay? Take your mouse, click the like, see what happens. Let's just see how many views this can get. But it's a live stream, so it gets less views. Neil, you love these live streams. You're welcome. Eve, hey, good to see you, Eve. Ro, good to see you too. Is there a Cornerstone equivalent on Robinhood? No, Richard. Shamastis. I mean, I always point people to SPYT. I love those, you know. Even SPY, great fun, but you're not compounding, so who cares? All right, you're just getting a little measly rate of return. You can get that anywhere. Who cares? Shamastis, I was just thinking selling my SPY 50K is throwing it into CRF CLM, 100K into CLM CRF, and let it compound. Love the videos, Todd. Glad I could finally make a stream. Yeah, thanks for making it, Shamastis. You said it perfectly as well. Sent over an email, ready to take the plunge and join. Okay, let me check my email. Let me make sure that I see that. Yeah, IF, okay. All right, so there's IF's email request, right? Okay, and then I'm going to respond back, IF, with the same template that I send everyone else, okay, and it looks just like that. So be ready to see a template just like that, IF and whoever else. And I hope I'm saying your name properly. Rod, how do I access Discord? It's free when you buy my e-guides, okay? Discord is well worth the price of admission. I have learned a lot there from other members. Thanks for saying that, Mark. Yeah, I mean, I hope it's worth the price of admission. I mean, it's free for life, so I guarantee you it will be worth the price of admission. We are together for life, Mark, okay? And if you need me, call me, all right? That's the other great benefit of having my e-guides, I believe, because I will clarify any question you have. Text me, and I'll text you back, at 11 o'clock at night, okay? But set up a time to call me. Okay, we'll do that. We'll set that up. Text me and we'll go from there. All right, Supreme, purchase the e-guides to access Discord. Exactly. Thank you, Supreme. John, helped a lot of people. Thanks, Todd. You're welcome, John. Thanks for commenting. Richard, thumbs up. Thank you. LRS, once you get this system started, there is little thinking involved. Drip the C's, play to win. Play the RO, I think is what you're saying, LRS. Will options, buy on dips, take some profits at highs. Go to Discord for more nuanced info. Amen. Thanks, LRS. Daniel, I joined this channel back in January. It changed my life. I quit my 6-figure dealership job, and now I make 6 figures on my own. Have more time for my family and focus on growing my wealth. Thank you so much for that comment, Daniel. That is awesome to hear. I know you've been killing it lately. I saw, your returns in the last members video. That's just great to hear, Daniel. And we're getting these returns, right? And these Yieldmax dividends, they supplement our paycheck, which is amazing. But we still need that growth, which you agree, Daniel, comes from Cornerstone and the triples. And the way we use those is highly nuanced. Okay, you don't just buy and go away. You play the ROs properly with Cornerstone. You play the maintenance and your position sizes and your mix of triples right. And again, that's all of my e-guides, especially Volume 7. Daniel, Todd's the man. He's the real deal, fellas. Thank you, Daniel. Supreme, good to see you too, okay? If you all need more help doing what we are doing, which is pursuing the fire lifestyle, email me for my e-guides at aikentod48@gmail.com. Discord and my phone number are free when you buy my e-guides, okay? All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Once again, if you like this video, please click like or subscribe. This is how we're outperforming the market, but we're going to go for compounded returns, okay? We want to make real wealth here, okay? So these are nice returns. We're getting nice dividends of around 700,000, but let's go the next step and let's really get wealthy with compounded returns, all right? The eighth wonder of the world, if you want to just say that. All right, I enjoyed this live stream. I had a great time. Stay tuned for the next stream. All right, it'll be on a similar topic, but breaking it down from a different angle, and I think you're going to like it.